So the trainer for this webinar and who is going to conduct the upcoming batch as well, his name is Azib Hassan and he has lots of experience. So I'll let him speak for the remaining part of the webinar regarding the curriculum. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, Rajan. How are you?
Yes. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Azib Hassan. A little bit about me. I am a certified
Hi, good
Microsoft.
afternoon.
So I'm a Microsoft certified data analyst, data scientist, and a data engineer, working with handling different sorts of trainings for past 10 plus years. I specialize in a lot of, trendy technologies nowadays, like machine learning, artificial intelligence, generative AI, talking about cloud computing, working on, lots of different aspects and everything. So, traveled exclusive throughout the world to go ahead and deliver trainings on different bases, working with lots of different companies. I used to work in IBM and Dell in various data roles, now full time into training. So that's a little bit about me. So what we will do is I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick overview of the things which we will be doing. What are the different aspects, how we shall be structuring our curriculum, what would happen and everything. That will be the idea which we will go ahead and look at. Just one moment. Let me just share my screen and we can start. Okay, so what I'll do is let me just share the screen and I'll just open up a quick notepad and give you the idea of the things. Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes,
Perfect. Okay. All right. Okay. So I just have a blank notepad open. So this is going to be an exclusive training for a lot of particular topics and other things. Okay, so our idea will be we will be going ahead and working with different concepts related to AI, machine learning, uh, deep learning, a little bit of deep learning, and generative AI, and a lot of things. Okay, so when we are going to go ahead and do this, the main fundamental aspects to go ahead and realize is we need to know a specific programming language which is required to perform any or every task in this. So that programming language is Python. Okay, so Python is the bare basic programming language which we need to go ahead and understand. And in fact, if we go ahead and look at this, a lot of people have this comprehensions that we are going to go ahead and talk about a programming language, how difficult it will be, can I do it? Yeah. So to answer those questions, what we need to understand is Python is the simplest ever programming language designed. So when you write things in Python, it is very simple for a person to understand. It's like, you're writing it in pure English without having to worry about the grammatical mistakes. So that's how easy Python is. It's a very beginner friendly with lots of, intuitive prompts and other things to work on. So what we will be doing is we will start our journey by understanding how to work Python. Okay, so we are not going to learn everything in Python. We will only learn enough just so that it is required us for our further modules. Okay, just enough Python which is required for us to go ahead and implement the things in our machine learning or Gen AI or deep learning, whatever. So that's the idea which we will have with Python. Right. So we will spend some few sessions on this. We will learn about, the basic concepts in Python, like, what are the different syntax-based understandings. We will introduce ourselves to the IDE which we are going to use. Okay, how we are going to work on that. Okay, those kind of things. After we are done, okay, we will start with, applying some conditional logics. We will talk about, repeating the programs over and over again. We will talk about writing our own custom functions so that when it's required, we can use that. So those things. So once we are all thorough with, the basics of Python, okay, we will then go into the next topic, which is going to be the libraries, which are required for our ML and AI, would say. Okay. So specifically the Python libraries which are required for machine learning and artificial intelligence. So we will discuss about the libraries because when we go into the machine learning, these libraries play a very important role. So libraries you could think as like, specific modules or functions which are going to make our life easier rather than having to write the entire thing from scratch. We will have some pre-built scenarios. So we will use those pre-built functions and perform the task. So that will be the next particular aspect. Okay, learning about the Python libraries and other things. So after the libraries are completed, we will dive into machine learning. So we will talk about machine learning concepts. What is supervised learning? What is unsupervised learning? Okay, how can we create a simple applet which will work as a supervised learning module? Okay, if we have to do something like a classification of the machines, how we can go ahead and essentially perform that. So those kind of things. Right. So we will work on understanding the algorithms, the logic behind this, how it works. So while we are covering this, or maybe just before covering this, we will talk a little bit about, the statistics required for machine learning. Okay, so statistics are the main important, like foundational aspects through which machine learning works. Okay, the logic behind it, like, it could be as simple as calculating the mean or median or mode values. Okay, working on the distribution aspects, how the data is distributed. Okay, is the data trending at this time, or it is narrowing down towards the other aspects. So those things. We will work on hypothesis, testing the hypothesis. Okay, if this logical explanation works, will it hold true for these kind of values? We will talk about sampling. Okay, you have a lot of data. You cannot directly go ahead and access everything. We will take small sample of it. We will infer the data from that sample onto the entire population. So those kind of things. So we will understand about the statistics required for this and work on machine learning algorithms required to build the things. Okay. So after that is done, we will see a little bit of, what you call web hosting things. Okay, we will use some, static cloud aspects. Whatever we have built, the machine learning model. If I say I have built, something, I'll show you a couple of, simple demonstrations which we could do. Okay, maybe very simple, very logical demonstrations. So we will use that. I'll think of something. So let's say I am going to, create a simple applet using a small data wherein I have the weight of the person and I have the height of the person. Depending on the weight and height of the person, we are going to classify if that person is going to be underweight or if he is overweight or the regular weight. Okay, something like that. So for that, we will create a simple applet. By using machine learning, we are going to create a simple applet. So that applet, how to host it on the cloud server. Okay, how others can access it. So we will see those kind of things. Okay, so after this is done, we will dive into a little bit of understanding of deep learning. Okay, or what we call as neural networks. Okay, so we will not go in depth into the algorithms or coding part of this. Okay, it's a slightly fairly advanced thing, but we will understand just enough of it so that we can understand the architecture, how it is working, what happens. So continuing on to this, we will jump into next thing known as Gen AI. Okay, we will talk about the Gen AI concepts. Okay, we will see a couple of applications. a couple of tools and other things. Okay. And we know Gen AI tools are rapidly evolving. So what was like the hype terminology or hype tool maybe 6 months ago is now left just barren because there are newer tools coming up. So we will see some latest industry tools which are there, which are creating waves, and how to go ahead and work some beneficial tools for us to perform the task. Okay, so along with Gen AI, there is a new terminology or new term which we have heard nowadays called as agentic AI. Okay, creating an agent which will work with AI based technologies. Okay, helping us to go ahead and perform our task in a simple way. So we will see a couple of examples of this. Okay, so this will be mostly towards the end, which we will be looking at. Apart from this, what we are going to do is we will learn or we will have a brief understanding of some data analytical tools. Okay, so these are some tools which are very much having a real grasp in the market. So we might have heard of these tools. So one such tool is Tableau. Okay. And the second tool which we have is something known as Power BI. Okay. So these are two tools which are used to visually represent the data and then analyze the aspects. Okay. So we will see an hands-on demonstration on how to work with these tools, how to understand the working behind the tools, how to get the data, how to clean the data, how to visually represent it, and after visually representing it, how to find the insights from this. Okay, so that will be one another highlight which we'll be doing. So this is the rough agenda of the things which we will be going ahead and covering. So the entire course curriculum will cover all these topics. Okay, I have just mentioned the headers which are required. So there will be lots of segment by segment understandings of the things which we will be doing. Okay, so starting with Python, we are not learning complete Python. Okay, that's one thing very important to understand. We are not learning Python so that we build the applications as a web developer would do. No, that's not what we're doing. We are learning just enough basics of Python so that we can get accustomed to understanding issues and errors, how we can solve this, and then going on to the libraries. Right. So absolutely do not require any prior knowledge of working with Python or any other languages. We will
अंडर
start
90
with
वर्ल्ड कप के
absolute
इतिहास
basics.
में सबसे ज्यादा छक्के मारने का रिकॉर्ड कायम किया। साथ ही
Hi,
80 दिन में
Dhirendra, you are
175।
just muted him.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Okay, yep. So we are going to learn just enough about Python so that we can proceed further. Okay. After this, we will go into libraries. There are some fairly basic libraries which are used to make our data cleaner. We will see how to fetch the data, how to make sure the data is clean. We will write some codes to automatically clean the data. Some mistakes are there in the data. We will try to rectify them. We will process the data. So those things. It's going to be very interesting, very challenging. Okay. Then talk about statistics, like I mentioned, and then jump into the machine learning algorithms. So different sorts of algorithms from different type of data. Then and give a brief understanding of deep learning, the architectures, like how to work with image related data, how to work with text or audio data, how to work with something known as transformers. So transformers is the main important terminology which comes up and works on the Gen AI. So even if we know this, we might have heard this ChatGPT, which is a very famous tool which is used nowadays. So this GPT stands for the Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So T here is a transformer. Okay, and transformer is one of the deep learning architectures. So we will go ahead and see how to work with transformers. What is the idea behind transformers? At least give a basic understanding so that you know the tool which you're using. Okay. So we'll do a little bit of using the APIs. Okay, we'll obviously work with the free versions. How to fetch the APIs and perform our tasks rather than using a paid application like developing a paid one. We will see how to call the APIs ourselves and customize and work on the data. So that's the idea behind using transformers and Gen AI to work the tools. Okay, so after that, we will dive a little bit into Gen AI, agentic AI. So wherein we will create something known as AI-based agents to help us perform our tasks for us. And we will also, somewhere in between, we will have the data analytics tools like Tableau and Power BI, which are used for data visualization and analysis. So this is the brief idea of the things which we are going to cover. So we will have live training sessions wherein, I mean, the idea behind this is I will go ahead, I will share my screen, and we will perform the live based, practical, hands-on details. And whatever I do, I would expect you all to go ahead and follow along so that when I do a particular thing, you will be able to do that, and we can simultaneously understand the way things work and finish up the details. So that's the idea which we'll be following. Okay. All good so far? Any questions?
Yep.
So, what's the outcome of this course and how it will add value to my role?
One second. Just connecting my charger. Sorry about that.
So, I asked, what will be the outcome of this course? How it will add value in my role?
Right. Yeah. So the outcome of this course is that you will be well versed to go ahead and create your own custom machine learning applications and AI based applications. So this is going to portray your foray into learning or understanding the aspects related for you to become an well versed data science professional or an AI professional. Okay. So you can also go ahead and use this in your existing role. So like for example, if you are working on something like data analysis or something, you could use these kind of tools to perform your task and make it easier for you to go ahead and work. Right. So that's the idea. So you could also maybe, work on, understanding the Gen AI related tools to make sure you are shortening your work. So Gen AI tools help you reduce the complexity in your work and make it simpler. So that's a few things which we'll be doing. But again, depends on what role you are in and what kind of things you are looking to work on.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So we will proceed further. We will go ahead and we will look at, some further aspects. We will try and, show you a few demonstration of the things which I would go ahead and work on. And I'll also talk to you about the tools which we are going to go ahead and use. Okay. So our idea is that we will be going ahead and working on coding the details because we are starting from the bare basics of Python. So we would need a coding editor for us to work on. So what we'll be doing is we will be using an online code editor so that we don't have to download the things and work on. So that code editor is called as Google Collaboratory. So we will use this code editor, Google Collaboratory, which is an online tool. You don't have to install anything. All you need is an internet and a browser or a Google account. Okay. So once we access this, you will have an outline editor wherein you will type your code, you will perform the task. So all these different aspects which we have. Okay. So maybe till here, everything will be done with the collab coding editor. Even the Gen AI and agentic AI tools will be performed using this. Unless we are using any external tools, okay, we will be mostly sticking on to this editor. Meanwhile, while we are doing this, we will also, take a couple of sessions wherein we are going to expose you to try and work with the other editors as well. Because you never know what could be used in the industry. So this is one of the very popular editors. But to give you a hands-on feel on how the same thing can be done on slightly different editors, we will try working with a couple of other editors, maybe for one or two sessions. But this will be the primary thing which we'll be following. And for these data analytics topics, we will be downloading or installing the freeware version of Power BI or Tableau. and working on them to perform the task. That will be the idea. Okay, so I will show you a couple of my built-in projects which are there. Maybe using Power BI also and work on this. So you might have seen this in the height side. So what I have is I have created a basic demonstration data, okay, a nice little visual app for the Blinkit sales of different outputs. Okay, so Blinkit apparently is a quick commerce company which has certain particular things. So I had this particular data which was there, okay, which gave me details about the sales and other things. So we have like the item identifier, the type of food item, the fat content in that, the outlet establishment year, which year was the outlet established. Okay, we have the location type, the size of the outlet, what type of outlet it was, and some aspects about sales and the rating of the product. So using this data, we cleaned up the data and we were able to use our drag and drop tools to create this beautiful visual, so that when we see at this, we can easily go ahead and understand and get the details. Like for example, as of now, we're talking about the total sales. So we could see the item type which had the highest total sales was this. Fruits and veggies contributed the highest amount of overall sales thing. Yep. So similarly, we also were able to go ahead and get the average sales. So if I get the average sales, you would see the data changing and we would have the average values. Or if I want to know about the number of items which are there, so I could click on number of items and I would have the values. I could click on the average rating for the products. So you could see there are some products which have very high ratings, some products which have low ratings, and so on. So we could get a clean interface wherein with these particular aspects, we can perform the task. Let's say I want to ensure the entire graph is going to give me all the details about a specific outlet. Okay, so let's say I wanted all the small outlet sizes only. So I could select small and the entire graph would change it to have the small outlets. Okay. Or I could remove this filter and add some other filter. Maybe, I could add the filter where we are selling only the low fat items. And these values would be representing only the low fat item things. Or maybe, we could go ahead and have only the tier 1 outlets. So I could select tier 1 and the entire chart will change to tier 1. So this way, I could customize and apply the filters on the data and work on it and get the details. So this is one thing which we could do with Power BI. Okay, simply get the data from the data without having to manually scrounge through the boring data like it is. So if I want to check, let's say tier 3 location, all the outlets, I want to know what is the sales rather than having to go ahead and manually look at the data or use Excel to do it. So I'm using a visually appealing tool to perform the task wherein I can go ahead and design it the way I want to with a lot of charts and visuals and give it the proper meaning with the customization, colors, and everything. Okay. So that makes it super helpful for a person who is trying to understand the data to work on this. Yep. Okay. So this was one particular thing. So this is using the Power BI tool. Now let me show you a quick demonstration on the Tableau tool. Again, similar to this, Tableau is a tool which will give you the aspects of solving the things. I'm just going to open a random particular notebook which I have done. So we again had data which was relating to, something known as a superstore, a supermarket store, wherein it's selling a few things. We have details about, which date the order was placed, what was the type of shipping, who was the customer, which segment they belong to, the address of the customer, what was the category of the product, the subcategory, the product name, what was the sales which was done, what was the profit which we got, how many items were did, and so on. So this is the data. So from this data, we create multiple different charts like categorical sales. So per category, what was the sales? Then we had something like, a trend of sales throughout the year. So we have 4 different years from Jan to December. What is the trend? I have a trend line passed about. So you could see the sales were peaking in the month of September. So here in the second year, the sales was highest in November, December, and here it was November. So the idea which we could get is around the last few months, the sales were very high. And during the starting months, the sales was less, even though this is the cumulative value. Okay. Then we saw the distribution of sales throughout the United States country, which state had highest sales. You could see California had highest sales. We had New York, which had again very high sales. So there were other states in the central US which did not have that much of sales. Then we could see the city-wise breakdown of the sales, okay, with a really nice geo-earth visual kind of a thing. And then we could combine all of this together into one simple way of data where we could see this. Okay. Now, in just like before, you could change this. Okay. So as of now, it's talking about the sales. But let's say I want to switch to talking about profit. So I could work on profit and I would get profit. Or I want to know how the quantity is affecting the things. So I could talk about quantity. Okay. I could, let's say I am interested only in understanding the sales for technology. So I'll keep sales here and I will click on technology. So when I click on technology, you will see all the values are shaping up just to give us the technological values. So for example, if I want to know what is the sales of technology in the California state. So I will select technology and I'll see it is 1,59,271. Or maybe I want to check what is the sales for technology in California state for February 2015. So I will select February 2015 to apply filter and I'll select technology. And what I see is California does not have any value. So that means there was no technological sales in February 2015 for California state. Okay, simple as that. So we could go ahead and apply multiple filters and visually understand the details. Yep. So this is how we could work on the things. So this is how we would do the things with Tableau. Okay. Next particular demonstration which I would want to show you is something simple. So I'm going to show you about the output which I generated from one particular tool. So this is a simple Python visual handbook which I generated a couple of days ago. So wherein it is giving us understanding about the different topics which we are covering in Python. So if you see this visual material, so it is very much like sleeky with the proper color theme and lots of designs and everything. So this particular material or this handbook which I did not create this by manually entering the data or anything. So this was done through a generative AI tool called as Notebook LM. So we use this Notebook LM tool, okay, a fantastic little tool for us to go ahead and perform the task. And I gave in the data source which is required. I gave in the prompts. And after doing all the things, I wrote a proper prompt wherein, my prompt engineering skills came up. And then I went into slide deck to create this by clicking on this and giving the prompt as to what I need exactly. And it was able to go ahead and generate this visual slide deck for me, which gave this particular data. Okay, all about the different basic things which we are going to go ahead and use in Python. So we'll possibly be using this handbook for going ahead and understanding the logics or what happens. We will see this particular thing, okay, when we go into the live sessions. Okay, we'll possibly use this same handbook for us to group through the things. I'll share this on the drive later. Yep. So this was the third tool which we focused about. Now, the next thing which I'll show is I will show you a demonstration of the aspects which we are going to work on this. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Talked about weight height classification data. I'm just going to go ahead and open up the things from the previous sessions. If I have a demonstration handy, ready for me. Let me just sign into this tool. Looks like the app is older and that requires us to log in. Anyway, okay. All right, okay. Let me run through with this and try and understand, see if this can work. Okay. So just showing a demonstration using some simple Python codes which I have written. Yep. So the direct built-in app is not ready. So I'll just quickly show you. So what we have done is we are taking a simple data of a few people's weights and heights and which class they are, like I mentioned earlier. So like this person here is weighing 51 kg and he has 167 centimeter. We are categorizing him as underweight, this person normal, and this person overweight. So we have some sample data of about 25 people. So using this data, I'm just doing this on a very small scale so that we understand. So we are going to go ahead and process this data. We will clean up the data and we will apply a machine learning algorithm. This. So after applying a machine learning algorithm, we are going to go ahead and write the aspect. So I will install a specific library to host this particular thing. and we create a particular applet. And I would go ahead and work on running this applet. So it is going to generate and give me a website link to access it. This being a free website takes a few tries to get it to work. Wait for it to load up and do this. Okay. So this is the simple applet which we created to predict the class. Okay. So we have, let's say we have a person who is weighing 47 kilograms and his height is, let's say, 162 centimeter. I want to predict if he is underweight, overweight, or normal. So I click on predict and it says the person weighing 47 kg and having a height of 167 is categorized as underweight. Let's see about, a person who has 60 kg. So he's categorized as normal, height 163 and weighing 60. Let me check for a person having like 94 kg and say 160 as the height. So he's categorized as overweight. Right? A simple applet which gives you the things like a simple normal creator. But what you need to understand is we built this from absolute scratch based on the data of about 25 people. So using the data of 25 people, what we did, we use this 25 people's data. We made the machine learn from this understanding. Okay, so like if the weight is so and so, if the height is so and this is so and so category. So we made the machine learn through the things. We applied a particular algorithm, some rulings to not explicitly learn this. And once that was done, we had a machine learning model. We used that and then we created it as a small web-based application so that anybody who is using this now can get the same aspect. So this is now a locally shareable application. So as long as my system is running, so it's a temporary free application. So that as long as this is running, so this link will be active for anybody who can log into this and they will be having this website, small little website for us. So we'll be creating apps like this. So whenever we create a machine learning applet, we will try to host on to something as simple as this and get the details done. So that's a small little demonstration for us to work with the details. And this data
I
is
have one
limited
question.
to this.
Where you have developed the LLM and all, obviously deciding after taking the data and taking the training, that will decide for the application. Have you developed the LLM also?
No, this is nothing to do with LLMs. LLMs typically come up when we talk about generative AI features. So this is not
Okay,
generating anything. This is the machine learning application.
okay. Oh.
Yeah, so LLM is something which we will cover when we go into the Gen AI models.
But same thing will be there, right? If you give that some data, some prompts and all. If you want to generate something, you have to write there and decoder is there. You have to develop that, and it will also predict the same thing, whatever is doing here.
Well, not exactly. See, the idea is generative AI is a totally different thing. So,
Okay.
wherein the data is dealing with generating the things. Here, we are not generating anything. Here, we are simply predicting based on the past data. Okay, so, it's effectively going ahead and mapping this.
Mm.
So, like, from the data, like 56 and 170, like, wherever it is the most likely thing, it is going ahead and mapping and giving the answer. So this is machine learning,
Okay.
right? Machine is
But
learning from the data and just giving the answers.
oh,
In generation, what's happening? It's learning from the data. That part is there, but it is generating totally something unique, totally
oh,
different thing. Okay. So yeah, slightly different approach, and that requires a different kind of things. So we'll be doing that as well. We will be using LLMs. We will invoke the data from LLMs, and we will give out the results. Okay, just like how the ChatGPT and other things
Correct.
work.
Correct.
Yep. So we'll be using that. So that will be in Gen AI part. Okay. So
Oh,
we'll be importing the LLMs, and what we'll do is not all the keys are free. Like for example, if I try to use the same key model as the ChatGPT, that is not free to use. We can use ChatGPT for free, but if I want to use or customize it, that won't be possible. Okay. So you have to pay for the API access. Okay, Google is currently providing the free API keys up to a limit. So we'll probably be using that Google. Or there are other particular tools like, there is something called as Grok from Twitter. So that has again a free tier limit of APIs. So you can use that. So we'll be using that and creating our custom small little chatbots using the custom data which we have. Yep. So those things. So that comes up under, a specific concept within generative AI called as RAGs. Okay,
oh,
so we will
nice.
we will go ahead and cover that, okay, as a
No.
part of tracks. But that will happen only after we cover the other aspects. Okay, Gen
Okay.
AI is a concept which will be at the end after the deep learning part is done.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
well. Okay, so this was the other demonstration which we had. I will stop this. So likewise, similar smaller examples is what we will learn to develop. We will try to work on this. So ultimately, the aim in our machine learning and deep learning is you have the data, you take the data, you clean it up, and you try to create a prediction model based on it. Or you try to create a model which will go ahead and give you a resolution or a pattern of the things. So that's something which we will do. And that particular model, we will try to implement it or host it on a cloud platform. Like Streamlit is a cloud platform which gave us access to freely host the website without having to pay. So those kind of things. So that will be the agenda which we'll be going ahead and working with. Okay. Before we proceed further, any questions for me? We will open the floor for questions. Any questions you have for me from the demonstration, from the topics, or anything at all? Okay. No questions. All right. Okay. So what we will do is we will quickly go through all the participants. We will ask you to go ahead and maybe just give a quick introduction about yourself, and what are the things which you are doing currently, what's like your current job role, and what you are expecting, or what is your expectation from this particular sessions which you are going to conduct. Okay, so that way it will be able to help us and fine tune the things. We can go ahead and start.
Yeah. Uh, I'm Devendra Tiwari. So I'm working with Oracle as a project manager and architect.
Okay.
And I have 20 plus years experience. So starting from development in .NET, I have lots of knowledge in other tools like MFT, SSIS package, uh, different type optimizations, like in SQL types of any types of optimization in the like deadlock and all,
Okay.
and mostly work with the .NET and SQL
Okay.
applications, majorly web-based applications, and others like some trading applications in the NSE BSE. I have created that.
Okay.
So that is like market picking the data and all rates and all in the milliseconds, and it will reflect the rate and takes the orders, execute the orders. So
Okay.
broadcast and lots of things are there. Yeah,
Okay. All
that's it.
right. Yeah. So just wanted to know what are your reasons for, willing to join this particular session?
Actually, in Oracle, lots of things they have given training, like in Gen AI, racks and all.
Correct.
So I was not able to capture that because that was too fast. Uh,
Okay.
they were moving too fast when they are giving the training and all. Okay. So I want to from basic to like expert level. I know little things like in racks and all, machine learning, LLM and all, but that is not clear. Each and everything is mixed up till now. So I relate to machine learning and LLM creation, and that's why I asked you questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is
So,
everything is getting mixed up.
no, understood. I mean, see, we have a clear pipeline of the things on how our syllabus or curriculum is designed.
Okay,
So we start from absolute Python. See, when we talk about, I mean, this is for everybody, okay? So when we talk about Gen AI, it's a very hype terminology nowadays.
correct.
So there are two things. One is you start and use the application which is ready-made. There are freeware tools. Like for example, the thing which I mentioned here, this particular thing, this handbook which I created. So this was done through a freeware tool called as Notebook LM. So I am not going ahead and designing the tool. I am doing it from just a ready-made tool. I use my key and I get the output. Okay, so this
That's
is
good.
one way of Gen AI, okay, wherein we are consuming the tools which is required. Okay, and because there are so many tools, and there is some learning curve required to understand that. That's one way. Okay, but that's not what we are doing here. Here, our idea is to go ahead and understand the inner working of Gen AI. So that means how Gen AI application works, what actually happens. If I have to go ahead and maybe fine tune or create something, what happens? So that is the second part of Gen AI, which we are going ahead and working. Slightly on the slight technical side, but that's not all which we are doing. So to go into Gen AI, to understand what is Gen AI, we need to know about the other terminologies. So think of Gen AI as just the byproduct of learning the other things. We are going to help you learn how to create machine learning applications. We are going to help you learn how to scale up your machine learning applications, how to build your deep learning applications. And then we will see how to, create custom Gen AI tools. That is the idea which we are following. Okay, hope that kind of clarifies the things.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Devendra.
Thank
We will move further. Anybody else who wants to share their experience or talk about them?
Hey, hi, Hassan.
I
This is Sujit Patra here. So I'm with JP Morgan Chase, almost 22 years experience. I'm basically a delivery manager now in a platform modernization role. So yeah, I mean, I started with mainframe, but now the days have changed. Everyone wants to move away from mainframe, get into the cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP, whatever is there, and start using these, ML and AI. So yeah, I just want to learn about it for my understanding of the work that the team does so that I can be more productive and impactful for the team.
Perfect. It's good. Yeah, absolutely. Like we mentioned, yes, everybody is moving towards machine learning, AI. I mean, almost every technology. If we don't do it, we will be left behind. And obviously, it helps to go ahead and easily connect us to, understanding the inner connect of the things. So absolutely good decision in doing this. Thank you. Perfect. Who's going next?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
Yeah. Hi, Hassan. Ganesh here. So I'm a developer and I am currently working in TCS.
Guys, sorry, we're not able to hear. The volume is very faint.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, slightly better. Yeah. Oh, but
Okay.
still faint. Yeah, okay.
So,
No problem.
hello, can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
much better.
Okay,
Better.
okay. Yeah. I have 12 plus years of experience in .NET technology and currently working in TCS as a senior developer. So I'm just bit confusing this with the AI tools and all this thing because I'm currently working with generate this chat GPT
Mhm.
and other things in my current work. But this Databricks and whatever this generative AI things is there, everywhere is something differently. Not sure which one is correct or which one is working with ML or AI or everything. So that understanding only I need to get from this class, I think, because this whatever you're showing, that is okay, because it has some random scenarios and all this thing is there, but need to understand what exactly the generative AI and what exactly we need to use in our current projects or in future. These are the currently in the live going on in the app,
Mhm.
in the generative AI. People are just saying you need to go with the AI and all this thing. You need to create some chatbot and all this thing. But what and where, which technology we need to use? Just AI, because AI is coming with the near about 15, 20 languages as well as the other technologies as well as tools and number of
Correct.
things. We can't capture in the one day or something, correct?
Yes,
Or in a
absolutely.
3 months also we can't directly go with the current company. We can't live directly and do the that work and all. So just need to understand where exactly the start and how we can understand the these are the base things, and then after we go ahead with the means just like basic course, and then after uh, what do you say, middle level, and then after we can go with the high level, correct? That
Got it.
like that understanding I want from the courses. That's why I'm thinking to get
Mhm.
some course where I get this basic information so I understand, then only we can go ahead with the next level of things, correct? So
Got it.
that
Got it.
is the thing I'm expecting from this course, and that,
Understood. Yeah.
yeah,
Perfect. Yeah.
that's it.
Fundamental knowledge of,
Yes.
the technologies. And thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah, thank you.
that's a very good starting point to go ahead and work on. So yes, we will have the initial session when we start. I mean, if we start with the course, the initial session will be focused on, the overall world of data. So we'll make it very theoretical as to what are the different things, terminologies, how each thing fits in and everything. Okay, before we actually dive into Python. So that's the first, like, introductory overview thing which we'll be going ahead and working. So, like, the entire data space, starting from AI. Under AI, we have like different particular tools, like we have ML, we have computer vision, we talk about, natural language processing. Okay, where things come, then how generative AI fits in. What's the difference between generative AI and agentic AI? How, machine learning is different from data science. What is data analytics coming up and doing that? Okay, how is data engineering related to all these aspects where these things come up? So that's like, a mind map kind of a thing is something which we will go ahead and start with. So that's something which we'll do, and then, we would go ahead and jump into Python. So that's the plan which we have as of now. Okay. So yeah. Okay, thanks for that. Okay, anybody else wants to go ahead and share?
Am I audible?
Yes, Kuldeep.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
So,
Can you?
thank you. So I have total years of like nine and a half years of experience in IT. I've been working as a Scrum Master for the past 2 years. Prior to that, I worked as a business analyst and I played a lead business analyst role for US market in medical insurance. And currently, I'm working in automobile for Porsche. So my I mean, I would like to understand more of the tools about, especially on the Tableau part and the Power BI.
Okay.
For me, my day-to-day activities revolve in and around client communication. Every week or bi-weekly we have these demos that I have to present and take the feedback and documentations. Typical BA world. Besides that, I use Balsamiq Mostly I use Lucidchart, and sometimes I use the SAP Lumira to sort of have a mock-up created and present to the customer for sign off on the requirements front. Um, for me, these days, I been asked to learn more or lean to more onto the AI/ML, because there are projects that I'm working on, for Hill's pet formulation stuff. So for that, they're looking for somebody who has having the experience or having at least an understanding or nuances on the AI/ML. So it's been exciting for me, but again, I don't know where and I should start, because it's a huge, line of topics available out there, and what is relevant and what is not relevant. For my role, how I can, because mostly I'm on the functional side, not the technical side, right? So I just want to
Got it.
lean onto that, side as well, so that it would be, easy for me, even if I'm planning to switch. Because these days, functional knowledge, I think mostly everyone is having, especially for BAs and Scrum Masters. But I think the advantage would be more for the technical guys as well, right? So I just want to learn more on that, how this course will help me, and what
Got it.
where I should start, from what point
Perfect.
is what I.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, yeah, that sums it up, pretty much sums up, almost every field which is now. Everybody
Yes.
wants to have that particular, idea on how to be ready if you want to switch to a different thing. So yeah, this will provide a perfect platform, like you mentioned. We will go from absolute basic into, expert level training and becoming an AI or ML professional. And then you can definitely add on the other things to that. Along with that, yeah. So small portion on using these tools like Tableau and Power BI. Yeah. So perfect. Yeah. I think that's good. Yes. Okay. Anybody else remaining? Okay. All right. Okay. So I think nice knowing you all. We will know more about the things. So yeah, like I mentioned, these were the aspects which we will likely cover, and we will work with this. So when we start with our actual live sessions, so the way it will work is we will go ahead and have a interactive session kind of a thing, wherein I will start going ahead and explaining about all the things, the codes from absolute scratch, and I would share my screen so that you guys could go ahead and follow along. And whatever I do, you would go ahead and do it. If there are any issues or errors, we will have a smart route clearance session towards the end of the session. Or if there are not too many interruptions right then and there, we could go ahead and debug and proceed further and perform the task. Also, whatever codes I perform and do, I will share it across to you all so that you can have that as a reference and work on it. So that's the idea which we'll be going ahead and working. So I think with that, we will stop here for today. And when the actual live session starts, we can go ahead and work on this. We will start with the introductory part of, where different technologies come in, what are the different key differences between them. And then after that, we can jump on with the other tools and everything. Any final questions for me before we stop? Just let me know.
So what is the duration of this course? Complete course?
Uh, Currently, we have thought about roughly around 3 to 4 months is what we have done, but you will
So
not
what is the
think.
timing? No,
Yeah.
days
So
timing?
we would have around 3 hours of sessions on the weekends.
Weekend, Saturday, Sunday, both, or only Saturday,
Saturday,
Sunday?
Sunday both, yeah. So 3 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday is what we are proposing. Again, it'll be mostly morning timings. Indian morning
Mm-hmm.
timings is what we
Mm-hmm.
have gone ahead and checked. But you will get the ultimate confirmation when
And
everything.
what about the hands-on, like, oh, how we will do, like, if you are asking us to parallelly, if you are giving the knowledge and we are getting the some assignments, and how are we going to do the hands-on also in the same time?
Yeah, so our course will be completely hands-on. So whatever is the theoretical part which is required to understand the concepts, I will explain that, and
Mm-hmm.
we will jump on to the hands-on part. Okay, so if there is one concept, Let's say I'm talking about, creating some conditional values or something. So I'll explain about that and I'll write the coding. So as and when I'm doing that, I'm expecting you all to go ahead and follow along with me. Yep. And we will go ahead and you can see the code on my screen and implement it. And immediately you would also get the output. If you do not get it, I will give you some time in between for you to go ahead and write down. So it will be like a live coding
So
scenario.
right now,
Mhm.
even I personally, I'm telling myself, I don't
Mhm.
know the Python, then how it will be like Python. I don't know whether like ABCD. I know that about Python, but Python is very not popular, and so I'm not. I don't know actually.
Yeah, no, we are going to start from absolute basics of Python. That's the thing. I mean, even if you know Python or you do not know Python, you will be
Mhm.
able to go ahead and learn it. So that's the plan. We will
And
be
how much
spending
time it will
some.
take to learn the Python?
So again, we are not learning everything in Python, just
Hmm.
enough Python basics. So roughly around like, three, four sessions is what we will dedicate to mastering the basics of Python. Okay, three to
Okay.
four sessions with some coding examples and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the tentative time. And then we will jump on to the other things. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not expecting everybody knows Python. Sure, there will be some people who might already know Python. For them, it will be like a revision kind of a thing. But our assumption is we are going to start from basics of Python, like, from the initial bit of Python.
Okay.
With that thing.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Thanks.
All right. I do not see any other questions. So I guess we will end the session here. Thank you all for joining. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good day
Thanks.
to you all.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you,
Welcome.
everyone.